Welcome to the first in a series of screencasts. In this short video, we will look at listening and its importance in the classroom. Let's start with a quote from the Afghanistan Ministry of Education curriculum document. Languages are learned better when learners are exposed to rich, comprehensible inputs. Research into the area of listening provides insights into two ways that spoken language can be comprehended: bottom up and top down. So what exactly do these two terms mean, and why are they important for teachers to understand? As we can see, the two terms are on this slide with the word understand in the middle. They are both ways of listening in order to understand what is being listened to. On this slide, we can see more clearly what is meant by each of the terms. To understand something, we need to know what the words mean, how the sound system works, how the syntax and grammar work in a language. If we don't know these things, we'll find it difficult or impossible to understand speech. We call this bottom-up processing. However, we also use what we know about the subject we are listening to in order to fill in any gaps, like words we don't understand or sounds we don't hear clearly. Good listeners predict what they will hear next, according to what they know about what they are listening to, and this helps them understand as well. This is called top-down processing. Let's look at this in action. Here is a picture of an elephant. You are going to listen to a short text about elephants, but first take some time to think of 2 or 3 words you might hear in a text about elephants. Pause the video while you think and restart when ready to listen to the text. See how many of the words you heard. Here is the text. Elephants live in Africa and Asia. They are large, heavy, grey mammals with a long trunk and tusks made of ivory. They live in herds with other elephants. They live a long time. Elephants are very intelligent. Here is the text. How many words did you predict correctly? This is an example of a pre-listening task, which helps activate top-down processing by getting you to think about the topic of elephants before you listen. This will help you understand the listening better than if you hadn't done it. We often talk about pre, during and post activities to develop listening subskills. Pre-activities may include prediction, brainstorming around the topic, or guessing. During activities could involve matching pictures, students answering true-false questions, or ticking words as they listen. It may also involve correcting wrong sentences. Post-listening activities are often productive and practice speaking or writing. Pre-listening activities help us use top-down processing and are very important. The first listening task is often a simple task, which involves listening for gist or general understanding of the topic. The second listening is a more intensive form of listening and involves a more difficult task than the first listening. Here is a listening task from the English for Afghanistan Grade 7 coursebook. Look at the task and the dialogue and think about what the pre, during and post tasks are. Pause the recording if you need to. As you can see, there is no real pre-task to get students thinking about the topic and help with top-down processing. The during task is to simply listen to the teacher and read the conversation. And the post task involves the students practicing the conversation in pairs. Here are some possible adaptations. Before listening, students could brainstorm what they do in the morning before school. This could be things like packing their bags, washing their face, having their breakfast, anything like that. Next, students predict what Ibrahim and his mother are talking about. The teacher draws a picture of Ibrahim and his mother on the board and explains that they are having a conversation before school. Once students have predicted what they could be talking about, they listen to the teacher reading the conversation. At this stage, they do not read the conversation themselves. They listen and check their predictions. Then they listen again and they answer 4 true or false questions that the teacher has put on the board. The third time they listen, students listen again, and this time they read along in their course books. The post-listening activity, students practice the role play in pairs. Here is a task for you. I'd like you to find another listening in your course books. Look at the attached file on this site for some pre, during and post activities. Choose one new activity for each stage, one for the pre-stage, one for the during stage and one for the post stage. Try it out with your class. And comment on this site how well it worked for your students. Thank you for listening to this screencast and happy teaching.